This episode addresses female genital mutilation, a harmful practice rooted in gender inequality. We share this conversation to amplify survivor voices, challenge silence, and support community led change, not to sensationalize their pain. If you are a survivor, please know your story matters, your healing is valid, and you deserve support. If this content feels overwhelming, it's okay to take some time and pause. Resources for care and connection are available in the show notes. Female genital mutilation, FGM, is often framed as a cultural practice. But make no mistake, it is a violation of human rights, disproportionately affecting young girls without their consent, often at a great cost of their health, autonomy, and future. Today's guest is standing on the front line of change. She partners with Maasai-led efforts in Tanzania to end FGM and support a local NGO that helps women who fled from abusive relationships rebuild their lives and financial independence and reclaim their voices. And beyond her activism, she guides high-achieving women, the ones who look successful on paper, to stop performing and start living from their soul. Welcome to season 5 of In Her Words, Working Conversation by Women, where we center women who are transforming systems, reclaiming voices, and leading with courage. I'm your host, Tando Mazibugo, and welcome to Silvia. Silvia, thank you for joining us today.
Hello, it was Tano, right?
Tando, yeah.
Tando. So thank you so much for this wonderful introduction, and thank you so much for having me. I'm a really big fan of your mission, and it's so wonderful that you do that, and I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and thank you for availing yourself and giving us the time. Silvia, you guide high-achieving women towards soul alignment, but your own journey began with deep personal healing. Can you share what led to your inner transformation and also leading you to start helping the Maasai and the women in Tanzania?
Yeah, thank you so much for this great question. So my journey began as an alone-born twin. So there was supposed to be 2 of us, basically. But my sister, unfortunately, I believe she was a sister, she unfortunately died in the womb of my mom. And although I didn't know it, I felt it. So my whole life, I was looking for this something meaningful. I was always feeling so alone. And also so much drawn to siblings, to twins especially. And I was a kindergarten teacher, so I started this because I was thinking, working with kids, that will bring me closer to my meaning. But it wasn't. Then I started to study business economics. I was in the HR management. I was working there, and still there was this void in me. So, and then, I had this perfect life, husband, got married, everything. And I never had to think about money or what I can buy, but it didn't make me happy. Do you know this? When you go out shopping and you have all these beautiful things and then they land in one corner and some of the things you don't even use. So this was my life too. And I was constantly looking. Then I found out about my twin sister, and it helped me a little bit because it made so much sense and explained a lot of things. But I felt that's not it, that's not everything. And I worked with coaches, family constellation, all of these things. And then my husband and we decided to go on a vacation to Zanzibar. And I've never been on the African continent, and all I was thinking is, okay, they have beautiful beaches, white sand beaches, it's hot, and I was hoping to get a little bit, dancing and fun-loving people, because this is the image that I had from Africa, to be honest. And so I went there, and then I met the Maasai people, and everything suddenly fell into place. They showed me their way of living. They showed me how connection is the most important thing in their culture. And they invited me to go to local restaurants. We went to parties, we danced. I mean, I had the best parties in Tanzania, I have to say that. And I went with them to the bomas and everything. And yeah, ever since then, everything made sense. And I found my purpose, yes.
Wow, that's such a great, summary of all your journey, basically, of how you lived this seemingly fulfilled life, high achieving life, and then going to a place and just reconnecting with the people. You work closely with the local Maasai-led NGO. That's so important. It's not about saving or about saving, the community, but it's about solidarity. What does that partnership look like in practice for you? And what essentially for you what does leadership look like in that sense?
So basically, it started very slowly. The first thing, so after my vacation, I went there to stay for 3 months, then for 6 months. And so I basically, I'm living between Austria and Tanzania now. And I went really to the bomas. I stayed there. I tried to talk to the women. So I've met this Maasai woman who's speaking English, because usually they speak Ma or Swahili, which I'm currently learning, so I'm not really that good. And so she helped me to understand them, to understand where is all these things coming from. So, and the more I have spent time with them, the more I found out I felt so close to them, if that makes sense. So we are communicating on another level, even though we don't speak the same language. And then this love started. And then Simon, this partner, he approached me through Instagram, and we started talking. I said to him, listen, this is not good, because he already created his organization. It's called the Nadumu Maasai Women's Organization. And because he went through so many things with his mom, so just a shortcut, his mother, and the other wife of his father, they were living together, 12 children, 2 women, 1 guy. And then the guy vanished. He just left the family, and he went to another woman and had babies with her and another family. And he forgot completely about the other family, which is not common in Maasai, I have to say that. Mm. I mean, it is usual that they have multiple wives. Mm-hmm. That is okay. And that is also for the women, it's okay. But this thing was not good. And also before that, he was beating the mother and everything. So this was the initial thing where Simon said, this is not right, and we should not do that. And he wanted to fight for women. So he started his project, showing the women in his area how to make a business and everything. And I said to him, listen, business and everything and being independent is nice, but this thing with the female genital mutilation, this is something that has to stop. And I don't want to do that as the white woman who's coming telling the people there what to do. No, I want to do it with them. And he also said, yeah, it's important. So this is how we started. And we are in the beginning, so raising money and everything.
Wow, that's an important cause. And, it's so imperative that you went and you spend time with the women there and learning about this culture, and sometimes a culture that puts women at such a disadvantage. How are the Maasai women themselves leading this change? Or what education or economic independence and voice does it play into shifting these systems? Because it is a complex issue to try and change.
It is. And one thing that's also important, I don't want to approach this with guilt or with shame or with something, because I love the Maasai. I truly, deeply love this culture, and I really hope that they sustain, because this is such an important culture and we can learn so much from them. So, but unfortunately, of course, the women, they play a minor role in the society, or let's put it like that, in the hierarchy. Mm-hmm. Of course, they play a very big role, but they don't, how can I say that? I mean, they have the babies and they are the glue of the society, like everywhere. But they still, in the belief of their people, or if in their society, they are below the man, like it was in my country as well. And we are still fighting to being equal, to be honest, everywhere in the world. But the thing is with this read is, it's about pain, you know. You have to imagine you're living in the bush in Tanzania, and when this lion or whatever animal is coming, attacking you, attacking your family or the cattle, you have to fight. And if you get a scratch, or if you get hurt and injured, you cannot stop fighting because then you're dead. So I think this is the root of this ritual. It's basically for you to transition from child to adult, you know. And the man also gets circumcised, also without any medication, without any painkillers, and the same with the women. But as I always say, with the man it's skin, and with the women it's not. It's so much more. And yeah, so it's so difficult because some women, they want that because they think otherwise their children, their daughters cannot get married. And on the other hand, we have so many young women and also men who say this has to stop. One young Maasai told me he saw a girl dying because after she got cut, she didn't stop bleeding, so she bled out basically. And nobody brought her to the hospital because, of course, this is forbidden in Tanzania, so they would get punished, so they didn't bring her to the hospital. And so, you know, it's a very sensitive topic, and I think you have to approach it with sensitivity and, yeah, with communication and, you know, finding solutions.
And you are a woman first in the world,
Yeah.
and a human. So, you know, you resonate with, you know, a woman's pain. You and I share a connection about financial literacy. And one thing that you do is, you know, teach or walk through this financial literacy. Can you walk us through how financial literacy becomes liberation for these women and other women that you coach and help?
Yeah. So the thing is, if a woman is not financially independent, then you are always bound to some most of the time male. Like for myself, I'm still fighting to be completely financially independent because I'm in the beginning of my businesses in both areas, and I do not have these multiple clients, and you know I don't have this income of thousands of euros. So I know this struggle, and I think this is also why helping these women, these Maasai women, makes it more authentic, because I know where they come from. And even though many of them, they like the life when the man is providing and they take care of the family, and this is perfectly fine if they like this, but sometimes they are so poor and the guys don't make enough money because going to Zanzibar doesn't always bring that much money. So the women don't have any other chance to do something. And so they are looking for possibilities. Some Maasai women also started to go to Tanzania. They craft, I can show you, I already prepared it. So they are crafting these things, you know, these jewelries.
Wow.
It's with, I don't know if you can see that, with these little pearls.
I can see.
So this basically is a Maasai perfume.
Wow.
And these are the typical colors also, these rainbow colors. They use this a lot. And so they produce it because they don't speak English. So this is also something that they did.
That's so pretty.
They can put your name on it and everything. So they come to Zanzibar and they try the best with their abilities, within their abilities. But they don't speak English. They don't know how to calculate. So many of them didn't go to school. So this is where our project wants to start, you know. My aim is to educate them, to teach them read and write English so they can have a business. I want to show them the basic knowledge to make a business. What does it mean if you sign a contract? Because the government, unfortunately, is not really on their side. So they try to force them away from their ancestral land. And then maybe they sign something and they don't even know it. So this is our goal, to really go into the education, and over the education, gaining the trust, and then finding solutions for the FGM. That's the plan.
That's amazing. The work that you do is so amazing and so important. So many women you coach are successful on paper, as you've said, as I've said, sorry, and have great careers and relationships and homes. How does Maasai wisdom challenge the Western idea of success and help women reconnect with their inner truth?
That's a really, really good question. And the answer is, I I show, or I tell my stories. I inspire. I encourage them to go out in nature. This is something that I think is pivotal, because we are human beings and we are not supposed to walk in high heels and to wear fancy clothes. We are supposed to be out there in the world to connect with each other. And I always say the most important relationship is the one with ourselves. So be alone with your thoughts, listen what is coming in, because we tend to silence everything, with social media, with watching movies and this busy life. And I encourage them to go out like the Maasai do, be in nature, be silent, be quiet, don't use anything. Or also gathering around fire together, exchange stories, things like that, connect with each other, because this is the most important thing, the connection with people. I think that's getting lost in our world sometimes because we're super busy.
That's so true.
Yeah.
That's so true. For any woman listening and who feels like they're just performing, what's one small practical shift? Well, you just did mention connecting with nature. What else could you give listeners to align with themselves?
Mm-hmm. One good thing is starting to meditate. And I don't mean you have to, I don't know, it doesn't have to be at once 30 minutes meditation. Start with a few minutes. Sit down. Maybe you burn a candle, look at the candle and just stay with your mind, with your thoughts in the moment. Try to push away all the thoughts that are coming about what you have to do later or what you did yesterday, and just say, I appreciate you, but now is not the time, later. So basically guide them away and just stay in the moment. Sometimes it helps to stay focused on your breath or your heartbeat, or maybe, I don't know, some people, they tell me they have a watch or a clock and then they had the ticking, so they concentrate on that. And if you start slow and with short sequences, it helps you to get into it. It doesn't frustrate you, because when you start with 10 minutes, you get frustrated because it's so difficult to just stay in the moment. And journaling is also something very important. What is coming into your mind? Appreciate those thoughts, write them down, even if they doesn't make any sense. But your mind, your soul wants to tell you something. So write it down and then look through it. And one thing that I have learned also from the Maasai is be grateful for what you have. Because we I don't know how it is in your home, but in Austria, we complain about everything. It's too hot, it's too cold, it's too this, it's too that. And we are never happy with what we have. So this is also something, yeah.
That's true. In South Africa, we complain as well. A lot.
It's
I just complain. I was like, oh, it's so hot today. Why is it so hot?
I'm complaining it's too cold because now we have autumn in Austria.
The phrase soul alignment is so beautiful, but what does it actually mean and what does it look like on a day-to-day life? Is it a feeling, a decision, a rhythm? How do you know how do women know they're moving towards their soul being aligned?
That's really a good question, because it's so difficult, to be honest. And this is why we have to start with baby steps, And the thing is, especially we women, we get taught you have to be a super mom, you have to be a super wife, you have to be a great employee, you have to be this, you have to be beautiful, you have to be skinny, you have to be, I don't know, straight hair, curly hair, whatever it is, They always tell you who you are, who you have to be, or how you have to look like. And then we are following all of these things, even though we feel, that doesn't sit right with me. Or, for example, if somebody says, oh, let's do this, and you feel like you don't want to do that, but because it's your boss or it's a friend that, I don't know, for whatever reason, you go over your limits, and then although you feel bad for it, you just do the things, you overstep your boundaries. And that's when you're misaligned. So the thing is to listen to your voice. Do you really want to do that? Do you really need those things that you want to buy? Or is it just to impress somebody? And if you start to question all those things and find out what it really is that makes you happy, then you can align your decisions in your life to that without giving up on other people. But if you prioritize yourself, others will be more happy with you as well.
That's
That's the point.
That is so true. And in closing, Silvia, if you could change one thing to better support women, whether it is in Tanzania or corporate boardrooms, what would it be, and what would give you hope?
Wow, that's really a deep question. It's so difficult. What would I hope?
Mm-hmm.
I would wish, to be honest, that we start to really respect women. Because I feel, because it's only one thing that we can change, right? So, and because I feel like we are always seen as the weak or not intelligent enough. I mean, 100 years ago, we were not able to vote because they thought we are too stupid or too I don't know, whatever. So still we have this in our society, that we believe that women are not capable of things. They are like a child. We have to protect them, all these things. And I feel like if we get the respect of the people, respecting also each other and the men, then this would be so much easier, because then they would take us for full, and they would see us more as a partner to talk about things than like they do now, just put something on us and we have to live with the consequences,
Thank you for that. And where can our listeners find and connect and help you support, your work as well?
Thank you. So, if somebody wants to work with me, you find me on. I don't know if you can share links.
I will. I'll definitely share the links.
Great. So I have two homepages. The silviaresnik.com homepage is about my coaching, and the info, the Simple Life Journey website is about everything. So you get information about what I'm doing. There's a blog. I have to write more blog articles. And there's also some information about the project, because we are at the beginning, which means we need money, we need people, we need manpower. Maybe there are teachers out there listening. They have, I don't know, they're in the, so after work, retiring? They retired. Maybe they want to come to Tanzania, teach the Maasai English, mathematics, whatever. We are always open to things like that. Or somebody is a marketing genius and can help us with the campaign. We are open for everything, because we need help, and these women need help.
Thank you so much, Silvia, for joining us today. And I will definitely put all the links. And you are doing such amazing work, and I know you will get the support that you need.
Thank you so much. It's so nice. Yeah, I think so too.
Thank you.
Step by step, we will get there.